Well, hello everybody. It has been a gross, awful week. Really, really hot and really, really smoky. There's a lot of wildfires in my part of the world right now, and it's just really awful to be outside. I've been spending my time doing some different creative things like I do. I sold a couple more paintings, which is very cool. One thing I've never pointed out, some of these paintings, like this here, where you've got this nice kind of forest scene here with this lush green, or like this underwater scene here. These are the paints I use. Red, yellow, blue, black, white. I don't own any green paint, or any teal, or any aqua. I saw a video where somebody was talking about color theory and the way they painted, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess everybody doesn't do it that way, where they just take the primary colors and figure it out. So when I sell the paintings, I add that in the description that these were painted only with red, blue, yellow, black, and white. Because it's kind of cool. Recently in my videos, I've talked a little bit about using your time wisely. You're being intentional with your time. I remember a couple of years ago, I had this almost said intention. I had this realization that I wanted to start creating more than I consume. And I realized not everybody can do that. Not everybody has different talents or things where they want to spend time creating stuff. But because that is something I can do and I really enjoy doing, I should focus on that rather than consuming. So I don't watch a lot of TV or a lot of movies, things like that. I do watch a lot of YouTube, usually sort of educational adjacent content, either like tech news or music theory, different stuff like that. But again, the problem with a lot of these things is they are distractions from stuff that you really ought to do or want to do. A couple of videos ago, I talked about the concept of putting yourself in boxes, saying, I am this or I am that. And I also discussed the dangers of living your life in a very black and white way. You end up kind of cutting yourself off from a lot of things or missing out on a lot of things. And this is no different. There is a lot of gray in the world. And if you don't take the time to sort of appreciate that, like I said, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. And living in the gray is hard. It takes a little bit of focus, takes a little bit of intention. And it takes a little bit of discipline, which is something that a lot of people either don't have or haven't cultivated. Discipline is literally doing what you don't want to do. And there's some things we do, we get up when the alarm goes off or we pay the bill when it shows up. And for some reason, we've just either conditioned ourselves or we see the value in that. But man, there's a lot of other stuff in the world that we just are bad at being disciplined about. And again, it can't be really black and white. When you think about something like eating, you can eat this or you can eat that. Drinking, I had mentioned I would like to drink less alcohol. I don't think I want to drink no alcohol. And I know a lot of people struggle with technology. And it really depends how granular you want to get. Some people, it might just be their phone. Some people, it might be an app on their phone that they struggle with. I have eliminated a lot of social media from my life, but I don't think I would ever want to eliminate my phone entirely. It's a very, very useful tool. All these organizational things I do, it is my organizer, it is my camera. But choosing what to engage with, that's the hard part. And I think what you really have to do is just kind of step back and evaluate your relationship with it. So like social media, I've had many, many of them all the way back to MySpace and Twitter and Facebook. I've gotten rid of most of those. The only one I currently hang on to is Instagram. I am not a very big Meta fan. In fact, I think a lot of things they do are really awful. And I think the Instagram app has gotten worse and worse over the years. But it is something that I know how to manage. I can limit what I'm sharing. I can limit who I'm sharing it with. So at this point, I'm still using it, but man, I am just about ready to be done with it. And it's because of all of the stuff on my phone, it's the one thing that is just non-productive. It's a huge time suck. We'll just sit and we'll just scroll and scroll.
Scroll and scroll. Scroll and scroll.
As far as evaluating your relationship with your phone or with an app specifically, the way I did it is a lot like I did my email situation. I pretty much just got rid of all of the apps. Now, I didn't delete all of the apps from the phone itself. I just got rid of all of them on the home screen. And there's some I knew I needed immediately. I need my calendar. I need my notes. And then as I started engaging with it, I realized, I need this app for my work schedule. Or I use this app for meditating. I need to put that on the home screen. And you realize very quickly there's a lot of stuff on your phone that you just don't engage with very often. Apps that are for things like travel, you can always re-download the Amtrak app or the airline app or whatever. And they usually aren't something that are really distracting anyway, so having them on the phone is not the end of the world. But when you take that kind of bird's eye view of your phone and you look at it as far as how you are utilizing it and the things that are helpful and the things that are unhelpful, it becomes really clear really quickly what you should do. I am just as prone as anyone to get lost in the whole scrolling thing. And so I look every once in a while to do basically 3 things to kind of separate myself from all of the noise. One is I go outside. I do like to hike, I do like to camp, like to go to the beach, things like that. Sometimes just going for a walk, being out there, touching grass, as they say. It really just slows everything down, puts things in perspective, and gets rid of a lot of the noise. I still have my phone with me, and a lot of times I'll just listen to music as I walk. But instead of you engaging with the world through the curated lens of whatever app you're looking at, whether it's a news app or a social media app, you get to experience the world for real on your own terms. So I highly recommend that. The second thing I recommend is do something with friends or family. Engaging with a person in real life is not the same as engaging with a person on a social media app. On social media, there's all these people who are sharing what they choose to share at that moment, and it's not something that you can really interact with other than like a like or a comment. Actually being in the company of people and having real conversations and understanding what they value and what they're doing right now and what they are thinking, it is way more enriching than just looking at social media and seeing what people are up to. Now, huge asterisk, I am the most introverted person in the world. I don't like people. I mean, I like some people, but I don't like people as a concept. I live by myself, I travel by myself, but even me, the most introverted, hermity person I know, I still get a ton of value out of getting together with friends or family now and again. And the third thing I highly recommend is do something analog. So much of what we do on devices. Devices open up all these possibilities, all these amazing things you can do. Admittedly, I use them for making videos or making music. I use them for organizing my life. But doing something analog, whether that is writing or painting or making something with your hands, is a totally different thing and something that we've really lost. You know, when I make these little paintings, you just sort of get into that flow state. You kind of zone out and it's just you and the art, and that's all that really kind of matters. Even though I'm very digitally organized, I still keep a little notepad on my coffee table where I write down like my to-dos or the thoughts that are immediately in my head. You know, I need to do this today, I need to remember to do that. I just write them down and I cross them out. And I find that that sort of interaction is really, really meaningful and memorable for some reason. Tarot cards, although you're not actually making something, are a tangible, interesting thing to interact with. Sometimes I'll play board games with friends. We'll get together and we'll, go somewhere or go over to somebody's house and we'll get out all the pieces and the dice and things like that, and we'll actually interact with each other and this stuff to play a game. Go outside, visit your friend, make something with your hands. While it won't totally straighten out any digital mess or distraction, it will definitely inject some peace and happiness into your life. The wind is supposed to change direction over the next couple days and blow the smoke the other way. Some of the worst wildfires we've had in a long time, and going outside has not really been something I've done much this week because it makes you feel terrible. Get a scratchy throat, get a headache. Hopefully next week the weather is still good, the air is a little clearer, and I can get outside and do some stuff. I've got a few ideas of things I want to do in the end of summer, going into fall. I'll talk about that in a future episode. Please like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.